This is the aftermarket report with Vegas and Jim. Today's date is January the 7th, 2019. And first thing I want to talk about before I turn it over to Vegas is I'm starting a new challenge account. I do this every year. This year I'm doubling it though. I'm going to start with $2,000 and I want to make 1,000% on it, which will bring it up to 20,000, right?
Yes.
Or is that 500%? I want to bring
No,
it
you're good.
I want to bring it to at least 20,000 by the end of the year, or maybe higher. I might hit a good lucky streak. Last year's challenge, I started at 1,000 and made it up to 3,600. So I deposited that 1,600 back into my savings, and I'm starting fresh with $2,000 this time. So if you'd like to follow me, you can join our chat room. Everybody else will be there witnessing my ups and downs on it. I do believe that we are going to have a all-time high in the market this year. So that's my $2,000 challenge, and I'm going to bring this back in control to Vegas.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. And we have a lot of picks to talk about as well. So we will be talking about the SPY. We're going to talk about ROKU. We're going to talk about AXSM DRYS, which was yesterday's video bonus. And we're going to talk about APPS, AMD. And you know what? I want to give you guys another bonus because I'm feeling lucky with these bonuses. So I do want to mention that, with the importance of the 50-day moving average, which was mentioned in the Investors Business Daily. And they were mentioning that, and I'm going to quote what they said, that, the three indexes now face an upward stretch before reaching their 50-day moving average. So retaking the support at that level would mark the next step in the market regaining positive momentum. So the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the NASDAQ composite all ended Friday 4% below their 50-day lines. So pretty much what has to happen in the next few weeks is for this rally to just keep moving higher. I mean, you guys heard the talks this morning that, U.S. and China trade talks were starting in Beijing, and that should lead hopefully to a breakthrough soon. And, it's the first time that the teams have met since December 1st. You guys remember when Mr. Trump and Mr. Xi, were first meeting. So hopefully we'll see what's happening, and remains to be seen. So keep that in mind. And I'll turn it over to Jim now to talk about the SPY, because he definitely talked about that last night. And boy, was he dead on.
Yep.
Jim,
Well,
tell us what you said yesterday and what happened today with the SPY.
yeah. Before the end of the year, I said, I think the market's going to turn around. We're going to see positive territory in 2019. So here's your yearly chart. I've got these red lines for the channel that I used to play, and then the oversold area, which is down here in the yellow lines. And I called this bottom at 234, and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days later, we're up here and we hit my target that I called at 255.13. So I'm going to pull up a 20-day chart, and I was, sometimes I'm impressed and sometimes I'm not. But when I called this at the bottom and I pulled out my crystal ball here in Stocktwits and told everybody we were going to have a real positive 2019, and then they went ahead and bounced up, hit this first resistance that I had at 247.05, bounced up around, pulled back a little bit, and then all of a sudden today we hit that 255.13. So I was very pleased with this trade, and I think there was people in the room even playing on it. So that's what I got to say about the SPY. I think that call from that 231, 232 level all the way up here to 254 was a sweet call in just a week and a half time. I expect it to probably pull back right here to around 253 and then continue on up. I'd like to get it back up here in the red channels up here, and that's where, and we'll see that definitely. I'm not discouraged one bit. I do believe that we will see it go back to its natural highs at before, sooner than later. Let's put it that way. And then we had another nice play today. Vegas, you want to talk about Roku a little bit?
Yeah, well, first of all, I gotta say that we've been watching Roku last week and even obviously today. And Jim's going to talk about what he was looking, and it's really thanks to Jim that people in the room were actually swing trading Roku from last week, and he even talked about it today. And not everyone, I got to remember, the purpose of the I Love Stocks channel is, Jim and I are really focused on helping new people and helping people with small accounts learn about things and grow. And, a stock like Roku would not appeal to me because it's too expensive with a smaller account. If you're new, I wouldn't want to trade Roku. But you know what? I would have looked at the options, and that's exactly what was done. So the options, okay, especially the ones, like I said, small accounts, the options call on Roku, it was a $39 option call, meaning that you're hoping that Roku goes to $39. If it goes more, then your option trade is worth more money. So it's almost like you're placing a bet. So to buy one contract, which technically gives you 100 shares. So you buy a contract the similar way you'd buy a stock, you'd place your order, and the contract price was $1.64 times 100 shares is $164 is actually what it's costing you to buy one contract. So we have someone that actually bought a contract and they paid $164 for one contract. So again, with a smaller account, that's really not big money. And guess what? That stock went, what was the high of day, Jim, on, I just can't see it right this second.
Oh, it's up.
So
It's
I'm
up
looking
in the
at something else.
43 bucks.
Okay, so the value of the option call went all the way up to 535, which means that the $164 investment went to $535, a profit of $371 profit on a $164 investment. Let me tell you, that is a fabulous way to grow an account. And this person that bought the option call is actually a pretty new trader. And she's doing phenomenal. And I love hearing stories. And she's sharing her idea. And I got to say, she is killing it in options and loving this opportunity where this is life changing, taking a small amount of money and seeing it grow on a bullish chart. And thanks again to Jim's call on where he was looking to see Roku go, that helped basically pick the right option strategy. So congratulations to the people in our room that did that. And a lot of accounts in here, and very happy their accounts are growing. Very happy people. So Jim, I'm gonna let you talk about Roku, but I just want to mention, like, Roku is a really cool company. I mean, they have Roku TV, they got mobile apps. They also have a lot of HD products. I mean, their website's really interesting. So if you ever check out Roku, I mean, I don't even know if people have Roku subscriptions, but very interesting product and interesting play on the reversal of this stock. So what do you see happening, Jim, on Roku?
Well, on Roku, like I said, when I called the bottom in the market, it decided to go ahead and turn up like all these other stocks have done. And I've been screaming, man, if you have anything you like, look at them, because this market's rebounded. So right out of the gate, this is what caught my attention. And I've been watching this stock all year long. I watched it hit down here at the lows at the beginning of the year back in, you know, March and April, when it was back down here at the support level of 31.14, and it ran all the way up to $77. And then for the last 3 months, it pulled back, and then we had that December that was probably the worst December that I could ever been recorded in Wall Street history. So I just, for seeing something like that for the first time, I knew it was overdone. So it bounced off at 2630 level, and I just noticed the momentum. And then when I got in the room today and I started listening to the scanner, I noticed right out of the gate that it started popping up pre-market here at 34.62. So I'm sitting here early in the morning before the market, during the 6 o'clock hour, and I'm saying Roku's going to be the one today. Roku's going to be the one today, and I'm telling you it's going to go to 39 bucks. And if anybody in here wants to debate it with me, please do. Well, it wasn't probably an hour into the day, it hit that 39, and from 34 up to 39, that's a $4 and some flip. And then it ran all the way up to my next resistance. I had it 42.76 and stopped. I'm going to pull up the year's chart to show you what I'm looking at. I got these 3 trend lines. When it broke out, I called the pullback right here. You see that big gap? I called that little pullback, and then everybody started jumping in this thing and rolled it up to 39, and then some even took it up to 42. But that's a pivot point, maybe a resistance level right in here on the yearly chart. So I was pretty sure that we were going to hit that 39 and then bounce up to 42. So we did that. Something like this, it's overextended, 10 bucks, $12 in 2 days. Needs to pull back and consolidate. So let's see if we can get it back down to 39. If not, it'll take off to the next resistance, which is right around 44.30. But I would love to see this pull back, just maybe even to 40.65 area, right in there. So that's Roku. Keep it on your watch list, and just yabba dabba do. It's just a beautiful call today.
Jim likes Roku.
And I was really excited about this, and I think when my excitement kind of filled the room, and then they just said, "Oh man, he's over excited. This is going to run," and it's just a good feeling when you can call a stock like that.
Well, it's a great feeling to call a stock, especially if it goes in the right direction, and that's what people like.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody likes to be in a trade that is not going to move.
Nope.
And sometimes patience. This was one of those that we had a lot of patience in. So Congratulations to the Roku traders that swinged it last week, but big congrats to those option traders. My God, that was a great trade.
And I think it's going to go back up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the momentum in the market's going to carry a lot of these stocks back up to where they were, to their previous highs by the end of the year or sooner. So the next one we're going to talk about is going to be AXSM, AXSOME.
AXSM, Jim. So this is AXSM Therapeutics. They had news, and this company is into obviously biopharmaceutical company. They actually develop therapies for the central nervous system, and they have actually 4 clinical stage candidates. So they have like AXS05, 7, 9, and 12. And actually, the one that's labeled number 5 is in a phase 3 trial for resistant depression. So I like that. And it's got some serious... they have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, so I'm really liking that one. But the news today on this particular stock was about the AX05, and they said that there was significant improvement in depressive symptoms. Also, the data supported ongoing development of the treatment in the resistant depression. And the company did host a conference call about this earlier this morning. But that was like really good news to send this stock on a little bit of a run. And, 51% of the patients in the trial experienced 3 or more major depressive episodes prior to enrollment. And then 23% of the participants that received first-line treatment prior to the treatment with the study medications saw an improvement. So that was really good news. So, Jim, I'm going to let you talk about the chart, but I really like what this company is doing. They're even involved in Alzheimer's disease. So many great things. I really think this company has a lot more news that we're going to probably hear about in 2019, just because they have so many things in the pipeline. They actually have like 5 more things going on for 2019. So this is not the end of this company. And I'm going to let Jim tell us what he sees on the chart. but we're going to hear more about this company throughout the year.
All right. Well, one thing I liked about this stock today is that we broke out of the gate just high as could be. I mean, this thing, there's the year's chart, okay? You see this little line up here? I had to go back to 3 years on this thing to find resistances today. And we had a resistance high of 1371 3 years ago. Well, this sucker kept running up today. I mean, I was just going nuts with this stock today. This was my play of the day. And so we got to hit this next resistance of 894. I just drew that line in there from this previous 3-year high. I don't know if we're going to get up there because this thing, I mean, it bounced up from a support level down here at 217 all the way up to the day high, which was, let me pull that up real fast. And see, right out of the gate, I knew this thing was on fire. And I mentioned it in the room, I said, this is going to be my play of the day because the volume spike, and then we had the share rotation on it. And that came probably about not even midway through the day when we hit that. So the volume was definitely involved in this stock. And I called the breakout. So I followed it up here with the 15 EMA, kind of just kept pulling it up, you know, and looking at it. And then here's my moving averages on this one. I mean, I was really excited about this trade today. So I had 3 different supports resistances that I made that I was going to call support later on throughout the day. I had one here at 585, 651. I mean, look at this, 260 all the way to 889. I called the pullback right here from 769 back to that 580 support. I told the room to load up. Some of them got in, some just kind of I mean, the scanner was going off. There were just stocks everywhere that people could have played today. We had a golden cross here. We had a golden cross here. It bounced all up and created a new high. Pulled back to my last resistance that I had at 695. Bounced on up to about 739, 745. People were scalping this on the downside. So, you know, I always say, don't rush into a trade like this. Let it come to you. And if you didn't rush into it this morning, you had a chance for it to come back to you at my resistance level. And I just can't emphasize how important it is to take that profit, especially on a run like this from 260. Let me repeat, 260 to 889. That's, you know, that's that's a $6.30-some flip right there in a matter of, you know, a third of the day. So let's keep this thing on watch. I think it should pull back to be healthy. I like, you know, this 585. I'll probably have to come in here and draw some new supports on it tomorrow. But I want that 585 to hold. But, you know, again, something like this, you just don't know. And you just want to be careful. Play it off the supports. Let it come to you. Don't chase it. And that's AXSM. And
Okay.
next one we're going to talk about, Vegas, is what you picked out for the bonus yesterday in the aftermarket report.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully you guys listened to the video and got your bonus play, because that bonus play actually was a nice play today. Actually, I think I even surprised Jim with that one.
You did.
So that one was our beautiful bonus of DRYS. That one had a nice open today at 620, ran as high as 684. And, you know, I still think the chart's bullish. And, you know, this also, DRYS, hasn't had a run like this since June. So that was a good move today. So congratulations for those people that had it, you know, on their watch list and liked the weekly chart and thought, you know what, let me just wait and see for some volume to come in and then look to day trade the stock. So if you day traded it, congratulations. If you're actually still swing trading it, I think it's still got momentum and has an opportunity to probably still have a bit of a continuation. So, Jim, what are your thoughts on what you see here on the chart? Because it has had a little bit of a pullback, though, from today's high of day.
What a call, Vegas. You did it to me again.
That was a good surprise.
Yeah, I was, you know, I didn't question her about the call because I knew it was bullish, but I didn't think we were going to have this kind of breakout. I thought we were going to go back to my resistance level right around 623, which she called it down here right around 612. And I said it had to break that 623 in the aftermarket report. And then if we if we had a higher high, it would be right around 632, 633. But this sucker had a day high, and you can see the channel as it's going up. This is a beautiful channel with a resistance right here. And something like that, I mean, just I was impressed. I've been watching this stock for probably every bit of 14 years. So I'm going to pull back. I'm going to make this a 1 day. And I noticed yesterday, or not Friday, that it was bouncing up, hit my 613 level. And I've been calling this down here at 520, as you see in this channel that I had here on the 3-month. This 520 area has always been a solid support. And I said anything under 5 is a real strong buy. So we broke past that resistance at 623. She ran it up. She took it to 684. Keep this stock on watch. I know a guy messaged me today. I talked about the run it did from $5 up to 100 something. And this guy in our room was in that trade, and he showed me his little ticket. I'm not going to name no names, but I was really impressed that he got that because I didn't take that run. I played it, I flipped it, but he took it all the way up to over $113, I think. And that was DRYS. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but I'm saying we had a breakout here, so it might pick up momentum, and we might see a lot newer highs, and hopefully we can see a new channel come out of DRYS this coming year in 2019. So keep it on watch. Pullback support now is going to be 623. So if we get down to that 623, I want it to hold. I don't want it to dip below that. I want it to create a new channel. And Vegas was spot on with this ticker yesterday, so kudos to Vegas. That was
Well,
DRYS.
thanks, and I hope whoever listened had a trade, good trade. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even trade it myself because I was so busy with option calls and AXSM and scalping that one, and doing a couple other different kinds of trades. So I didn't even trade DRYS, but I know some people did. So congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
It really is about helping people find a good setup, and hopefully it works out. And in this case, it did. So I'm really pleased. So congratulations.
I've been bullish on this stock for a whole year because they stopped in the split. They stopped the split, and they're going to stop. They stopped the offerings. They just said we're stopping it because it had a bad reputation for every time it would go up. The next day you'd get a split or an offering, and this is a good company, and it's way oversold. I remember this stock was trading at $80 at one time. So yeah, I think it's just way oversold. And with this coming blast in the new year of 2019, we ought to get a lot more out of it. And the next one, Vegas,
Absolutely.
the next one you're going to talk about is going to be your apps.
Yeah, so APPS, I do like the stock. This is APPS, and the reason it's called apps, because you know what? They're in the apps business. So it's called Digital Turbine, and this company is known to actually create mobile apps. And it's, what they do is they develop mobile apps so that people could use it, companies could use it to obviously create and engage a user experience, because they know, a lot of people use their phones or they're using iPads, and this is a way to just get people connected with their industry. So Digital Turbine creates these apps so that it helps companies build revenue streams and also advertisers to help reach users across the globe. Interestingly, the company, I didn't even know this. They got offices in Texas, North Carolina. They got one in Australia. They got one in Singapore. They have one in San Francisco. And they got one in Tel Aviv. I'm like, wow, I did not know that about the company. So that is good to know. Now, apps has been in the past a former runner. And so I did notice today that the stock was moving during the day. And I did call actually a swing trade idea on the stock, and quite pleased with the movement that this has had actually after hours. So we did call the trade idea today, and the idea was called at $2.28, and did mention to the room that I did like the weekly chart and that this would be good for a swing trade for a continuation. So quite happy with that one because a nice little gap up after hours.
Yeah, this is one that we should have really paid attention to because we had this thing charted up by the bottom at 112. Then it ran
Yes.
all the way up to 137. Then in the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of months, we had a pretty good little climb, and it pulled back to that 200 SMA right here. We have a golden cross on the yearly chart. Once that happened, the stock just ran on up. So I'm going to draw a couple trend lines in here where I think could be a pullback. I'm going to put one right here. People always wonder how I do this. I'm going to be looking at that right there. I'm just looking at a daily right now, trying to find some supports and some resistances, and I run them all the way across the chart. So there's another one right there. I'm going to put that, see how it hit that little line right there. I want to bring this down to a 20-day. There you go, see. I broke past all my resistances, so I'm going to start drawing some new lines in here where I think the supports are going to be. We did have a little pullback after hours here at 235. And then we have another resistance right here at 244 and at 252, the year high. Now I'm going to pull it down to a daily, 1 minute. And I'm going to see if I need to adjust anything. I see one spot right here I probably need to put in at 232 level. And I'm pretty satisfied with that. Maybe I'll throw a dot right in here. We had a 255 high. It pulled back here. I think we're looking at around a 235. So if this pulls back down here to the 232 level, that's where I think I'm going to find support. So I'm going to change that property to blue. That way it'll keep my attention when I look at it tomorrow, because I would like to play this stock. And if that don't hold, we might be able to bring it right back down here to this level at 223. So I'm putting that line in there. I'm going to tox it with blue, just like that. And there we go. So we've got a support level at 232. I don't want to see it go below that. If it does, we could see 223 to 226. We're at 235 right now, so that's that's an easy possibility that could happen. This has had a beautiful run, and I'm going to repeat that one more time. Look at this, all the way from 161 on that dip. Last 2 weeks, it ran up to 252, so that's a 90-cent bounce. And we're going to pull back a little bit, consolidate, and then maybe we can continue on up. And I'm going to pull up the 1 more year chart because I always like to look back at the past. History repeats itself. And we've got a little more higher. We can take it up here to around the 252 if it wants to go ahead and bubble on up. So this is apps. I think it's a great company of what they do, because I'm always talking about apps this, apps that. So that is APPS, and then we've got a real nice one here. Vegas loves this stock.
Oh, I love it for now.
You sure do.
Oh, yeah. AMD.
Spit it out.
So we've been all over this AMD. I mean, look at that. I mean, 106 million shares traded today. I mean, this has been amazing to us because, especially on the option side, like we've been really trading the options and getting ones for $19 calls, $20 calls, $20.50 calls, $21 calls, like you name it, we are in it. So we had a good run today with the option calls. Now, I do want to mention that AMD had news today, and the news that they did have, excuse me, was that they were offering some new processors for mainstream and Chromebook laptops. So they did announce that for 2019, they have notebook segments, second generation. They named all these different models, and they mentioned that they're fast, efficient, they're optimized, they're elevating the performance of the Chromebooks. And they also announced that starting this quarter, gamers, creators, and enthusiasts will be able to install Radeon software to bring the latest GPU features and game optimization to all systems that are powered by AMD Ryzen processors with Radeon graphics. So, excuse me, people said that they're happy about that. And apparently this product is going to give up to 10 hours of video playback battery life. So that's actually really good, especially people that play games for hours. I think they're going to love it. So people can start able to purchase the second gen Ryzen mobile powered notebook starting this quarter and expected to launch throughout 2019. So these notebooks are going to come through Acer, Dell, Huawei, Lenovo, and Samsung. So there's a lot of stuff happening with AMD. So as a result, the market was happy. And Jim, can you show that
Yep.
report I gave you that shows
Yep.
the money flowing in?
Yep.
Okay, so that report there, one of my friends, Tony, he has this report. This data is pulled from the internet, but we've had the actual programmer that we know that could take actually the block trades and convert the volume to dollar flow, because I like to follow the money, and so does Tony. So we've taken actually the block trade report and actually convert the share price and obviously the volume that was bought with the block and convert it to a dollar amount, just so that it gives you a really good snapshot of how much money is flowing into the stock. And you could see that on AMD, millions of dollars of block trades. So obviously Wall Streets are liking it. And so far I'm still bullish on AMD until the chart proves otherwise, because you can't expect a stock to be green forever. There's going to come to a point where the stock, maybe it's time and it's going to reverse the way down. But for now, still bullish, and I'll let Jim talk about that, because he usually will point out when he thinks it's kind of exhausted itself and it's going to now pull back. So,
Oh, yeah.
Jim, what are your thoughts on AMD?
Well, we've been watching AMD for a year. Vegas and I have,
Yes.
and we've had a double bottom on this thing in 3 months. Right here at that 1603, right when I called my crystal ball out and said we were going to have a reversal in the market. So everybody, I say this thing's oversold, oversold, oversold. We're at $16. And so, you've had a couple weeks to get in this thing at 16 and ride it up to 20 in less than 2 weeks. So we're getting up close to a resistance level, which I think is right around 2190, somewhere around there. But this has been a wonderful call with the calls of the option trade. And also it's been a good scalper tool. You can scalp this thing every day because it does like to pull back. To let other traders get in there. I mean, others are going to pick up when the other ones sell. So I'm going to pull up this 20-day, and you can see what I mean. We had that hard sell-off in December, and it was just unnecessary. Everybody that trades this market knows that, but they wrote it on down, so everybody made a lot of money as it went, but people lost money too. They don't know how to trade a market like this. So we called this down here at the low support at $16, and I had the support down here at $16.38. We bounced up and hit that 1870 area, and it pulled back. Then for the last 2 days, it's been a solid attack from 17 all the way to 2056, with today's high almost hitting my trend line there at 2073. Now these are my extended trend lines. I use these same trend lines all year long. I want to make that clear, as I'm the master of the extended trend line pattern. And here we go. You can see I've played these before, and we said when we called this thing down at $9 last year, we said this thing is going to go on up. If it hits 20, we're going to take it to 30. And look what happened. We run that thing all the way up to 34 on upgrades. People have raised their target up to 30. So it pulled back, hit that support level, bounced on up. Then we had the cross that went down, sold off, and here we are getting back up to that resistance level. Right around 21.90, $22. So let's see if we can get another squeeze out of this, but it needs to pull back. It just needs to have a little bitty rest. but people are buying. I mean, everybody's watching this stock, and that's AMD. Keep it on your watch list. I can't tell you, I can probably tell you this thing will go back to 20 and bounce on back up. So that's going to be my support level here at 20 bucks. Anything below that's going to be a strong buy, especially right around 1960. So I want to keep that in mind. Keep them numbers in mind. 1960, 20 bucks, and then we got to break this resistance of 2075 to move another leg up. And that's AMD. And then we're going to talk about our bonus stock.
So my little bonus stock that I'm, just have it on watch. I mean, I'm not in it. I just am interested in it, but I'm not in it. So bonus today is called DFRG, which is for Del Frisco's Restaurant Group. Well, they just had their earnings. They're a company in Texas. They have restaurant chains all over. They did have earnings increase of 23.8 to 24.2%. So they went up to 124.7 million versus 100.4 million last quarter. So that's actually really good. And there's, reason why they had their contributions from the Barcelona Wine Bar. Very good, interesting website. They're into steakhouse. They're into grills. They're into bar tacos. They have a very interesting concept. So the head office, like I mentioned, is in Texas, and they have 73 restaurants across 16 states and Washington, D.C. And I think I'm going to have to check out this place when I go down to Florida. They're very into very upscale street food. They're known for freshly squeezed beverages. They have a very stylish looking modern restaurants. So definitely going to be checking this place out. But aside from that, what appealed to me was the chart. I did like the fact that there was nice volume today. I like the fact that there was a low of 766, had a really nice move consistently going a little higher, and it went all the way up to 801. So I also saw some block buys today as well. So keep it on watch, but I think Jim's going to talk about where he would consider getting in if he was going to look to trade the stock. And, keep it on your watch list for, we might see a potential continuation here. So, Jim, what are your thoughts on, this particular stock and what you're seeing on the chart?
Yeah, this is some of the block trades she was talking about right here. Size $20,000 value, 159 grand on one trade. So people are investing in the stock right now. You can see these huge blocks. So I'm going to pull up a yearly chart here. We've got a little channel we're working in. This thing has bounced up from the bottom low of 618. 618, may I repeat that? And we've got a resistance level right now that we need to break. That's this 804. You see the year highs was up here at 1885. So this has been oversold, like everything else in the market last year, sold off. And I'm telling everybody, you have any favorite stocks, man, pull them up and look at them because everything's oversold, big time. And so we've got to break this resistance level. I'm going to pull up the 20-day. First, I'm going to pull up a 3-year. I just want to see what this looks like. Yeah, so we got to break that 18 high. You see we've had a double top there, almost a triple. And then here this year it just pulled back ridiculously. And this is a high-end restaurant, and that's what I like about it. If I was going to take a lady out like Vegas, this is where I would take her. And so we've got a 20-day chart right here. You can see how we've created a little bowl, cup and handle. We had that hard sell-off that I've told everybody. We hit the bottom. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. She went all the way up to 801 today. I got next resistance, if we want to break it, to 831 tomorrow. Now, this can pull back to a support level, and that'll be right around 766. That is 766 on DFRG for low support. I don't want to see it go any lower than that. Then that'll show a little sign of weakness. And I see a little trend line right here I'm going to add to this. It's 730 right here. You see how it matched that right over there? And that's what I do. I go to the year chart and I digest them down. And I find little clues in now I'm looking at the 20. So I'm going to pull up the daily 1 minute. Beautiful stock to scalp because it hit that 810 high. It hit that 801 high, pulled back to support at 766, bounced back up there and tried to find resistance here. I would have probably gave up on this stock and took my profit, but actually after close to the end of the day, we hit that support level and bounced up beyond it. So this is one you want to keep on watch. We're not in it right now, but we're going to be. We're going to scalp it for sure. This is DFRG. And that's a really good bonus
Okay.
call, Vegas, because I do like this restaurant. Now, high end, and the way people are making money
Yeah.
in Wall Street, they're going to
That looks
flock at
like
this
my
place.
style of restaurant.
That's right.
Good though.
And I
You know, you
also,
can look good but not have good food. That's happened before.
yep. And I also forgot to, at the beginning of the video to say subscribe to our channel. Ring the bell so you can get our future updates. We're going to try to get us 1,000 subscribers here in a couple of months, and that would be a really sweet thing.
Yes, and also again, if you're interested in a classes gym,
Yep.
please email me Vegas at I Love Stocks. I already had quite a lot of people sign up who are interested. So there's still a little few more spaces, but please email if you're serious about learning about charts. Also, one last comment, WKHS 13G by Marathon Asset Management. So you may want to keep that one on watch for tomorrow. There might be some activity on it.
What was that ticker again?
WKHS Workhorse Group.
Okay. So
And
we got
that's
2
it.
extra bonuses on there.
Yeah, so just keep that one on watch.
Okay. Anything else you want to
Okay.
share with the audience? And
No, I think we've had a good day. I think great. I love seeing a lot of women traders are with me, and my mission in 2019 and my mission for a long time is going to be to have more women traders trading and learning about the markets. Even not, if you're not going to get into stocks, then at least learn about options trading. And I think it's a good opportunity. Even if you have a job, you could still do swing trades with a really good setup. It really is about picking the right setups to help you succeed. So I love the fact that I'm seeing more women traders joining. I love helping women succeed. I love men doing well too. And all the men are just so supportive. So what a really beautiful room to be in. So, I don't need to talk about it. You can just come check it out and do what I mean. So I think just the feedback we get, some of them just actually make me teary-eyed because they're just so special what people tell us, the messages that people write, very heartful, thankful messages from people. So I want to thank everybody for listening, following, subscribing, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow and hopefully another green day tomorrow. So congratulations, everyone, and talk to you tomorrow.
I do like this stock that you just mentioned here, WKHS.
Oh, gosh. Jim's obsessed. See why he loves stocks?
I really do.
What do you want to say about
it.
WKHS?
We're hitting a pivot point area right here, which is right around 74 cents. So this thing can ride on up to 84.92. I've already got this thing charted out already before, so I must have been watching it. We need to break $1. So let's keep this one on watch tomorrow. That's WKHS Workhorse. And I just want to remind everybody, I start my $2,000 challenge tomorrow. I want to try to get up to 20 grand. And who knows, I feel like this is going to be a real good year this year. And this is the aftermarket report with Jim in Vegas. Today's date, January the 7th, 2019. And our last quote, we love stocks.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.